So faith is the first step of creating a better you. So with that, there's this thing of faith. So I want to start by, I guess, explaining my journey to faith, what it means to me, and I guess how I view the power of it, and why it's such a necessity to have. So for me, I was raised, I would go to church with my grandparents, things like that, but it was more of a because I was told to, not because I chose to. So once I became of age, it was something that I guess I dabbled with here and there, but never really studied it. I never had a connection to it in a way that I now realize, and I wish that I would have had previously. So, what I've done just in the last 6 months or so to help realize about faith and the power of it and things is it's through Bob Proctor's, all of his teachings. I've really, he's one of the big influences through me that I've learned everything, everything that I talk about, all of these things. None of this is original. This is all just my studying, my understanding, my interpretation of the way of life, the way of this universe, the way of everything. So with that, and with the faith, it 1 and 1 equaled 2 in my brain when it was pointed out the fact that, and it's been for years and years, but for whatever reason, I wasn't ready to really eternalize it until now, but that everything, absolutely everything, is made up of energy. Energy is through us, it's in us, in everything. Like absolutely everything in the universe is all created of energy. So when I understood that, and then I kind of took a step back, and then I thought about like the definition of God. And I think it was actually the first time that I heard it when I was watching The Secret. I don't remember the guy's name, but he had said that, the God from a biblical sense, in all senses, is the same definition as the energy. It's in us all, through us all. You cannot create it. You cannot destroy God. You can. And it's kind of sparked in my mind that, hey, like, it's the same thing. Like, God is in us all. So once I was able to make that connection, and then I guess for me, my faith it needed to be based on, because I've always labeled myself like a realist, like, you have to show me. And that was my narrow-sightedness and my own issues that I've had to get through. But now I've really been able to open my mind up to it, to understand that, hey, and then that God is in us all and through us all. So I really believe that now, because I was able to connect it from a scientific aspect, and that's, some people are not gonna agree, but it doesn't matter. It's what works for you. It's what works for me. And for me, it was that scientific connection to God that I now believe 100% without doubt that, God is through us all. We are all created. And then, as the little studying of things, that they say that, we're manifestation of God, which is true. We're all made of energy. So we are all made of the same thing. And the point is that the faith is the unwavering belief in something. And you have to have that unwavering belief rooted in something like that, at least I believe, to be able to have a mindset that's required to really believe in stuff. And what I'm getting at is, what I am understanding is that this world was created for positivity. Like everything, creation is just positive, just in its freaking definition. Creation, think about it. Everything that's created, there's nothing negative, no negative context about the soul, just the word creation, creating. It's abundance, it's growing, it's more life. So there is no negative whatsoever in that. So that's what we're made of. right? We're made of creation, of only positive. The negative only came in after the creation happened, and then that's where we as flesh human beings brought in through whatever things, the negative aspects, but it was never originally created in that way, I believe. So having the faith in something like that allows me to only believe that the positivity of things is the truth of things. So to further explain, because of my faith, I'm able to look at things and emotionalize the positivity, and then truly believe that because everything is created and it's meant for further expansion and more creation, that all the things that I think about, that thoughts are things, because it all comes back to just understanding that it's all energy. Everything, this camera, the computers, it's all made up of energy. And there's nothing in our physical worlds that was created without it first being created in somebody's mind. Like somebody had to picture it before they were able to go out and create the physical thing. But the physical thing, everything that's made that makes that up, so like the wood in the desk, it was already here. It was just, we just changed it from one form to the other. And the basis, I guess, of what I'm saying is all based on, just the real belief that thoughts are things. And through my faith, I really believe that. And the faith allows me to not have the doubt, because that is the key. Is if you allow the negativity to come in and internalize within yourself, that's what you're gonna get. And even the smallest amount of negativity. So I'm not talking about deep like hatred type negativity. It could be just the subtle things of negativity, like for instance, and again, I don't want to come across as cold, but if you're dealing with the death of somebody, to sit there and then just, let it just stop your life, it's one of those where you can't. And if you allow it to come in, and it's a negative thing, don't get me wrong, like there is negativity in the world, but we need to be able to not internalize the negativity. And through my faith, I understand, and I don't want the negative, I'm not going to internalize it. And it's just based through my faith in everything that I am starting to understand. So for you, and anybody that may not have the faith, it's, the question would be, well, how do you get faith? Because that's the other thing. Like, all of the time that I went to church, I mean, granted, I didn't probably pay attention as much as I should have, but, I don't know, if they really explain how you get faith. They just say, you just gotta believe, like, just believe. And I believe that anybody can achieve faith through, constant repetition of telling yourself something. If every day you tell yourself how smart you are, eventually you're going to feel pretty smart about yourself. And it's the same way, I've previously said about like a child learning their name. Through the repetition, they're going to understand that's their name. And it's the same with faith. It's just the constant, you just remind yourself of, this is what I believe, but hold to that. And do not let other beliefs kind of come in within that, because what you're doing there is you're stopping the progress that you're making towards that new faith, towards that new paradigm, that new way of thinking, by allowing other things to come in. And that's a tough part, because I mean, look, we all have lives to live. We all there's ways that we're used to living in life. And that's a lot of the problem, is we've just become so used to the way that things are, and we're just getting by, we're alive, the family's happy, and we're just getting by. So it's like, well, in order to do these other things, it might cause a little bit of a rumble in the tumble per se on your life to try to change, those things, because you're going to look back and you're going to say, well, they're good. But it's just that deep desire of saying that, yeah, they're good, and maybe this is gonna, be a little rough working through and trying to really understand yourself. But just know that what is on the other end of that is so much better than what you could ever imagine for yourself, for your family, for the world, in all honesty. For everybody that you come into contact with is going to be affected. The more positive that you are, the more positivity that you put out there, even the people that you don't know, because when you have that positive energy, you get the people say the vibe of the room, or, the energy put out from people is a real thing. Like, you can feel that. And if you have nothing but positive energy and you really practice it and you're able to really eternalize that, I really believe that everybody around you is going to benefit from that. Everybody's going to be happier. And, it all starts within you, within ourselves. That desire to have that, the desire to want that. And then, through that true deep desire, you will find the power and the reminder to yourself to do the things that you need to do, and remind yourself of what you really are, because you are whatever you say you are. You say you're bad, then you're going to be bad. You say that you're good, and all these things, then that's what you're going to be. It's not an instant. You're not instantly like that. But if you continue to tell yourself and start to believe those, and the belief needs to be internalized. So that's the other big thing is, and I think that's with like the secret and the law of attraction that they're kind of missing, and they do touch on it, but is you can have anything that you want, but you can't just like think about it and it happens. That's not how it works. It's you think about it, but as you think about it, it needs to be for fuller expansion and growth for all, not for selfish reasons. But also equally as important is that you need to emotionalize. When you think about the things and you think about helping people, or the things that you're going to get that will help people, you have to feel it, like really feel and emotionalize, because that emotion is kind of, I guess you'd say, the power behind this whole deal. That's what really I've heard called as like coloring the energy that you're putting out. Is and there's different types of emotions. You have happiness, happy emotion, but on the equal side, the anger emotion and the sadness. If you're eternalizing those things, you're coloring those with those colors, and that's what's going out. And I believe that everything that comes out from you is going to come back to you. And that's through like the law of karma. I think we all can have, the different examples in our lives of karmatic effects, I guess you would say. So I 100% believe of that, and that's all just based on, what you're allowing to come into you. You can think of it as, there's energy out there, and it's just is, right? And think of it, I guess, if you have to, in a physical form, would be like, picture like a radio wave or some type of an invisible wave. And when it's coming at you, let's say that it is of no color whatsoever. So it comes into you, and then through your feelings inside of you, you add color to it. And for simple purposes, let's say happiness is blue and anger is red. So picture it as it comes in with no color, and then it's going to go back out as either the happiness or the anger. And then the goal, I think, should be to always do the happiness, because it's going to come back, and it's not going to be that pure energy. It's going to be, more of a colored type, maybe not full on the happiness or the anger type color, that true rich color as the way that you painted it on the inside. But the more that you do it, it's going to come back in a darker and darker shade of that initial color, if that helps make sense of it. But there's always ways to stop and to just wash it. If you start to feel, those negative colors, those negative things, waves coming into you, you can just stop and say, no, I'm not going to accept those. Let me start this over, and then start with the happiness and the positivity to start putting those back out. And then you'll find that those are all, those beautiful blues and good colors are just going to come flowing back into you. They're going to make you feel better, and you're going to start to see things in your life that you never imagined, like I've said before. So again, thank you for checking this out and hearing me out, and I hope that something that I've said, will resonate with you and just make you realize that, you know, we are all together in this, and the purpose of life is for further expansion and growth, not for deterioration and hate or negativity. So thank you.